Elliot Grinch.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Elliot Grinch here for Henry 8. Just bringing you a quick tutorial on places where you possibly get a frame per second loss. So hopefully this video will help you out, give you some quick tips to try to improve the playing of your game, especially if you record and you try to stay within a certain FPS range. So I'm going to start off first with locations and certain mods that when you open them up based on the Rage Native UI version you have installed, especially if the mod uses a certain Rage Native UI version, it's best to make sure that you are using the mod with that version of Rage Native UI, just to show you. So we're going to start off here. So my game is loading back up. It had crashed momentarily, but so I'm gonna pull this vehicle over. All right, and first we're gonna take a look at, we're in the countryside. So while being in the countryside, you're always gonna get better frames per second. A lot of people are asking me about or explaining or expressing when they watch other YouTube videos of LSPDFR gameplay and how they have they seem to not have any lag or better frame per second visuals. But if you notice, a lot of times certain contributors play in certain locations, and that's because they get better frame per second video response. So if you take a look in the countryside, we get higher frame per second, definitely 60 and above, because not a lot of visuals is taking effect on the processor based on your computer or on your video card. So you get a spike, you get an increase in the gameplay. Okay, so look at that, we're above 60 frames per second, almost near 70, and also depends on what you're doing. So for prime example, all right, if we utilize the regular LSPDFR computer, not really a drastic change in the frame per second. We're still in the upper 60s, okay? But we all like to use certain mods. I know I do. So when I go to utilize LSPDFR computer, now you can't see it because right now, I have, pretty much I think LSPDFR computer stops the game. So you don't take a hit, you don't take a loss, possibly. But what I did notice is we open back up LSPDFR computer. Now if you toggle the background, then toggle the pause, now we can see our frames per second again. So we're in the upper 70s with just this particular screen open. When we go to open, let's say vehicle database, not a change there, but you go to open up the next screen. If you notice, we now have decreased in the frame per second. Now, like I said, I'm not too sure on whether or not that is with having things still active in the background when you're toggling the gameplay in the background. Now we go to open up the next screen, we take another hit, and the frames per second does drop. Okay, so you got to keep these things in mind when you utilize certain mods. You're gonna you may possibly take a decrease. Now, like I said, when we close it, we go right back up in the frames per second. Okay, so that's just one thing I wanted to show you. So let's let this guy go. We'll cancel that traffic stop. So like I said, in the countryside, we do very well with the frames per second. What we're gonna do is we're going to go to the city. And this I was trying to explain to some people. all of these things factor into the gameplay with LSPDFR because, like I said, LSPDFR, as most people know, GTA 5 was not meant for this. This was just something. This was definitely something we were given, and we all ran with it. So we're gonna go over to the city. Teleport. Okay, get back in the car. So let's teleport to the city. So as you can see, hold on a second, let me get out of this screen. All right. Okay, as you can see, I took a huge frame per second decrease. Now, like I said, I don't have my computer. Okay. All right, my computer or my processor, I have not done anything to my processor. I know some people go ahead and change the dynamic on their processor by doing. I'm drawing a blank right now, but what is it? Where you pretty much increase the voltage on your video card and I'm drawing a blank right now, but forgive me. But I have just the base on my processor. So nothing special done to my system. I do have a real good system, a very good video card. You can check all that on my kits. And but I still take frame per second hits when playing LSPDFR. Depending on what I do, I have various games where I only have certain mods installed for particular reasons because I don't want to take a huge hit or a drastic hit. Especially, I mean, we already take a drastic hit with somebody that commented, yes, you go from 100 and something plus frames per second, and when you go on duty with LSPDFR, you drop down to 50s and 40s, depending on your system and what you have installed. So in this particular game, I do have certain mods installed. I'm gonna switch it up, and you'll see where I have like pretty much a bare minimum of mods installed compared to other game versions. But in the city, you see the difference. We went down to pretty much lower 50s, 50 to not even 60. And when you drive around the city, you'll notice even more losses in the frames per second. So hence why a lot of people like to play the game in the countryside, where you don't take a huge, or you take, let me not say huge, but you take a hit that you can live with, compared to, look, we're going into the low, 40s now. We're going into the 40s. And especially when you go around a lot of the urban areas, you'll see a drastic hit. And also, another particular area is Vinewood, the Vinewood area. You'll take a hit. So keep that in mind. So now add that on top of, let's make a traffic stop. Stop this person here. Okay, go ahead and stop, man. Stop. All right, so hopefully they'll stop here, but let me see. Let me see if I can. Okay. Let's see if he'll stop now. Just want to get him to fully stop. Of course. Yeah, of course. Right in the middle of the tutorial. Thanks. Okay, he'll stop now. All right. Anyway, so we open up the computer, and as you can see, the changes in the frame per second. Now we add that on top of opening the windows like before, and once again, we take a huge drop in the frames per second. Okay, so keep these things in mind. Okay, can't close the window. All right, there we go. All right, we'll cancel that traffic stop. All right, and I just want to show you one other location. Definitely in the Vinewood area. West Vinewood, rather. Okay, and also the time of day, because more things happen in the daytime compared to night. But Vinewood pretty much stays active. So, but let's go to daytime hours in Vinewood. Okay, go back to about 11 o'clock, right? Yep. Okay. But you can see my frames per second is a drastic drop, and that's with these. I have mods installed in this particular game, but we're in the lower. We're going back down to the lower 40s. So imagine putting that on top of if we get a call out.
Citizens report a 503 on Eclipse Boulevard.
Okay, we get a call out. We want to add. We want to get units involved.
Downtown Vinewood.
Copy, dispatch. Victor 13 is in the area.
So we stay in the 40s. Like I don't really think there's going to be a huge increase unless we were to chase this suspect into the countryside. Then the frames per second may increase. Alright, but you can see we're staying at a constant 40 something frames per second. Alright, now imagine now we also we'll add
Dispatch to all SWAT units. We've got an officer
helicopters in.
In Rockford Hills.
Air support is in.
Alright, but as we leave out of Vinewood, we did get an increase in the frames per second a little bit, but we're still in the 40s. Not the greatest. But pretty much just for this tip here, yep, of course. But just for this tip here, I just wanted to show you what happens with the frames per second with mods installed and various factors in the gameplay with LSPDFR, where you know it's pretty much uncontrollable. And this is of course on LSPDFR 0.3. I myself haven't really gotten into 0.4 yet. Still waiting for everybody to get rid of their bugs and things of that nature. But as you can see, I just wanted to show you, we're starting to get an increase as we get out of the urban area. And if we were to continue chasing this vehicle into the countryside, I'm going to actually cheat. And but I just want to show you, I'm going to catch up to this guy a little bit. I'm going to jump ahead of him. So I just want to show you, we go into the countryside. We go up into the 50s. So the suspect is coming, but I'm not going to chase him all the way. But if we go into, obviously, like Blaine County, if we were to follow this guy into Blaine County, well, let's go ahead. We got time. But as you can see, the increase in the frames per second going into the county compared to when we were in the city. Okay, I'm not going to follow the guy back in there, but you see we increased in the frames per second. We actually got into the 60s out here. All right, so I just wanted to show you that. So hopefully that helps. And going into the next tidbit. Okay, so next I want to show you this is pretty much my bare minimum of mods installed in this particular game file folder. As you can see, it's pretty much just trainers, player location. As far as in the main GTA folder. Then we go to scripts. Scripts, I pretty much just have no reticle, persistent weapon, searchlight, plugins, spotlight, and in the LSPDFR folder, arrest manager, computer plus, LSPDFR plus, police search, smart radio, spike strip backup, traffic police and traffic stop backup. Pretty much just the things that the standards that I believe I need when I just go on a regular patrol. Nothing else crazy. Not trying to have a lot of things happening in this game. Also, pretty much from what I showed you on the gameplay, and on this particular game folder, there are no visuals, things of that nature added to the game as well. This is just, like I said, and especially in this one, this is just the bare minimum. Nothing crazy. I think I may have like the LiDAR texture for traffic policer is installed, but no visuals or anything out of the ordinary. All right, so I'm just gonna just want to show you the difference when you add other things. I'll go into the other folder as well just to show you what was installed in that prior gameplay after this. And also, for those that don't know, if you have like texture problems with like loading certain maps, it could be because the newer version of Rage plugin hook, I don't know, something it takes away or removes certain assets that are required for certain maps. I know because I'm in the Parks benefactor program, so I play coastal callouts. And I know there was an issue with certain things that he created within coastal callouts that weren't loading properly, and that was due to Rage plugin hook, me updating Rage plugin hook to the newest version, and for some reason it was throwing some of the maps off. So if you have any problems like that, try reinstalling the prior Rage plugin hook and see if that helps you. So that's just a little tidbit. Maybe it might help you, maybe not, who knows. Okay, so the game has loaded, and here we are. Let me open up menu. And display our frames per second, okay? All right, something else. There was a very good visual mod that I was using, and periodically, what you would have to do, if you got a decrease in it added a couple of frames per second back to the game, you would have to go to settings, go to your graphics, and just switch between whichever particular window mode you prefer. Windowed borderless, or windowed, or even full screen, whichever one you choose. I use windowed borderless, and you would actually get a couple of frames per second back. I'll show you which visual that was. It was actually one that says no frame per second loss, but you know, you just had to so anyway, as you can see, without LSPDFR installed, we have great frames per second. Let's go down to Vinewood, the Vinewood area, just to see the difference compared to the other gameplay. So as you can see, we're still doing real good frames per second wide. Now, once we do go on duty, we're gonna go on duty now. Force duty. Let things load up. As you can see, compared to before, with the other mods that I did have installed, with this particular game, like I said, it's bare minimum, but I'm still in the 60s, 60 frames per second. Might get into, you know, like 59, but compared to the other gameplay. Let's spawn a car. Spawn an emergency vehicle, so we'll take a drive around town. As you can see, we went in, you know, we went below. But like I said, that's typically, it is going to typically happen in this area. Like, there's really nothing you can do with, in regards to when you drive through this area. It's just too much happening in this area, especially with LSPDFR installed. And when you're driving and moving, and it could be the visuals. That's why, you know, in certain games, I actually, you know, try to remove as many visuals as I can. But you see, still 60 frames per second once stopped. Some of that could be from the motion blur and all that stuff. That's why it's best to remove a lot of that stuff if you just want to play LSPDFR. You don't need all that. So we'll do a traffic stop. Alright, will this guy stop? So remember, I am playing on 0.3. This is not 0.4. Okay. Try to get this guy over to the side. Alright, good enough. So I just wanted to open up the computer. So in this area, like I said, I'm trying to, so you can see it. Alright, 55 frames per second. We open up the regular computer. Not a huge difference. When we go ahead and open up police computer, let's toggle the background pause. Okay, like I said, when the game, probably I saw the frame per second was at like 69. So that, like, if the game is frozen or paused rather with computer plus open, you probably don't get a frame per second loss. But if you have it open and you go to click on certain windows to open up, you will notice that you will take a hit. And it goes lower and lower in the frames per second. So just keep that in mind. Alright. And when we travel out to the countryside, let's cancel that. Alright. Okay, so let's see what happens.
Attention Unit 4, Henry 8. We have
Throw
a
traffic alert in there.
North Archer Avenue for narcotics in transit.
Okay, so I still stay in the upper 50s. And we're gonna teleport to the countryside. And out in the countryside, once again, huge increase in frames per second. So you will always have better gameplay with LSPDFR in the countryside, as you can see. You'll get better frames per second. And this is once again with the visuals that are in the game. They haven't been removed. But a better gameplay always occurs in the counties, countryside, Blaine County, compared to in the city environment. You're going to take a frame per second loss. All right, so keep that in mind. Excuse me. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. See you on the next one. Please like, share, comment. Let me know your personal views. Let me know what you may, what I can help you with. Let me know what type of tutorials you may want to see in the future, and I'll try to get it out there. All right. Take it easy. Be safe. Later.